He's getting the job. So I know you've done a deep dive on this stuff. Tell us about that Brown situation.
Well, I mean, look, the Browns, I think the further you get up under the hood of the Browns, you realize that Jimmy Haslem, the owner, has self-created it's the monster he owns is the monster he created. And, I kind of try to make the point of, if you're a Browns fan, a reason to feel a little bit better about this is that whether you like Stefanski or not, whether you like DePodesta or not, and let's say the next general manager is Andrew Berry, he's going to interview there tomorrow, Friday. If he becomes the next general manager, whether you like him or not, those are three minds that are on the same page. And if there's one thing historically, you can look at Jimmy Haslem, every single regime he's had through there's always been one or two warring parties in sort of the front office or coaching atmosphere, from the start. I mean, his first real change was Rob Chizzinski, Joe Banner, Mike Lombardi. Joe Banner and Mike Lombardi went to war with each other inside that franchise. Massive problem. The next change, massive change. You go to Mike Pettin and the Tom Heckard, and it's just every single regime change there brought in someone who created some sort of a rift inside the franchise, and that ultimately has destroyed one regime after another. And then even this last one, John Dorsey comes in, Hugh Jackson's already there, and they literally talked about initially when Hugh had been there, John comes in as general manager, and one of the first conversations they have is, we got to get DePodesta out of here. Jimmy Haslem, they even approached Jimmy Haslem about it. Right. He says no. So to me, even if you don't agree with the guys, at least try one time to get everybody on the same page under Jimmy Haslem, because obviously having these warring partners, it never works.
I mean, there's no chain of command if you've got DePodesta there. It just sounds like this is all cover for Haslem to be a micromanager. I mean, I'm DePodesta. That's a bizarre situation.
Well, I think the thing is with DePodesta, why he's survived through now into his third sort of phase of this whole thing, is because Jimmy thinks he's an extremely smart guy. And I'll say this for Jimmy, he's not the only one. I mean, there are people in baseball who will tell you that DePodesta is really smart. There's some people in football who have interacted with him who believe he's really smart. So Jimmy prizes him as being someone who's really smart. I will say this for him. I remember when Chip Kelly came into Philadelphia, and Howie Roseman was somebody who everyone expected to be fired because Chip was brought in, Tom Gamble, they were going to have their own setup, and Howie's going to get fired. Well, Howie got moved to the other, part of the building. And all I heard for the entire Chip Kelly regime was, Howie Roseman's a bean counter. He's not really a personnel guy, like all these different things. And then once Chip was washed out and Howie was back in place again, it turns out Howie was the smarter guy. It just took getting everything else around Howie being put in place correctly. It'll be interesting to see if DePodesta can live up to this once the structure is completely linear underneath Jimmy Haslem. But you're right. I mean, look, Jimmy's a meddler. You're never going to get around that. And I keep telling people when it comes to
Tennessee knows.
Yeah. I mean, NFL owners, that's the thing about NFL owners. They're meddlers. Like, a lot of them are meddlers. And you can't, they're owners. You can't stop them from meddling. They own the team. So, and you know what? He's not the only one. I know there's all this stuff made about, they got to meet with him on Mondays.
Right.
Arthur Blank, you know what? Arthur Blank, for the longest time, has met with the coaching staff on Mondays. And there are coaches who came out of there just lit about the fact that they had to meet with Arthur Blank on a Monday and waste their time on a Monday. They own the team, so